Welcome to another key principle. We're at key principle number 12, and they're all important, which is why they're called key principles, but this one's been on my mind a little bit more than some of the others. And it's this principle that perfection is impossible and failure is inevitable in our parenting. And the reason I've been thinking that is because as we're going through this principle of connection, still in chapter 2 of Calm Parents, Happy Kids, it's becoming clear to me that every interaction I have with my children is an important interaction for their long-term development. And we don't really realize that as parents in the day-to-day routine of parenting. But every interaction I have can help my child, or it cannot help my child. It can go one of two ways. Either I can be helping them to develop their emotional intelligence, or I could be damaging their emotional intelligence, or undermining that emotional intelligence, be it minor or major. Fortunately, as parents, we're able to reconnect with our children and heal any wounds that have taken place, again, whether it's minor or major. But the point is that every interaction we have with our child is an important one. And I don't always get it right, and no parent does. We will never get it right every time. But it's great that I'm getting this education and that I'm educating myself on the principles relating to successful parenting, but it does come with a cost, believe it or not. And that cost is that you always know better. And there are some times when I know my interaction has been spot on with my sons. I know I've done a great job in that moment. But then I also know sometimes, because of the education I'm getting, that my interaction with my children hasn't been great, less than ideal. An example, last night, our youngest, who's 8 months, he's really struggling to sleep at the moment. We are regularly going into his room to pick him up because he's crying and he's woken up and he's not settling himself. And he's not well at the moment either, so it's like a double whammy, and he's not really settling. My wife was out last night, and so it's down to Daddy to settle him. And so I'd done it a few times, but then this one time I picked him up and he just wasn't having it. It wasn't a case of crying or moaning. He was actually angry, that aggressive, angry cry that a baby makes. You'll probably know what I'm talking about. But I had to tell myself, because I'm educated in this principle, it's okay, just be mindful, connect with him. And I was doing a pretty good job, up until a point. I was understanding and I was cooing him and, cuddling him and helping him to feel safe. But then, my tank just got empty real quick and I lost it. And I didn't just shout at him, I screamed at him. I screamed at my 8-month-old son who's not well, who's struggling to settle to go to sleep. And all I said to him was his name and "stop it." But it was a shout, a proper scream. And that was because, my patience is gone and I lost control. And in that moment, it wasn't a positive interaction. But, I could have thought that, that's the end of the world. I've ruined his life and I've ruined our relationship. But fortunately, having gone through this principle, I could understand that I'm not going to get it right every time, but it's okay because I can reconnect. And that helped me then to reconnect with him and get back to cooing him lovingly and comforting him. And so I was able to turn it around. But the point for me is that I didn't stress about it. I didn't think the world had ended, because I understand that perfection is impossible and failure is inevitable. But as long as we keep going and keep trying as parents to form good relationships with our children, then it'll work out in the end.